Hey guys, so I know it's been a while, but today is a day I've been looking forward since like July. So today is October 24th, and if you don't know, Miss Britney Spears' memoir just like released. I pre-ordered it on like the 26th of July, and I have been like every day I've been thinking about this book. Like I wanted to read so bad. Like, if you don't know, I don't think I ever said this here, but like I'm a huge Britney fan. Like I love her like to pieces. I love her so much. So I pre-ordered it and I've been waiting, for it since July, and it's finally here. And oh my god, I've been like the entire day like on my living room just like waiting, and like if a car passed by I was like on the window looking, delivery like person. And finally I can't wait. Okay, so we're just going to unbox it. Oh my god. Oh my god. I literally have like teary eyes. I know I'm probably being way too like dramatic, but like I'm literally almost crying. Like you have no idea how just like how beautiful and powerful this is. Like I'm literally almost crying, and like she looks so beautiful. I can't honestly. You even get like a bookmark, and this has like two covers. I don't know, I don't understand the purpose of the two covers, but girl, I am literally in love. I'm just going to start reading and I'll update you, with the as I make progress through it. I've read 5 chapters, and she is basically talking about mostly like family dynamics, or like her family and like her early childhood. She talks about like her grandparents. Like she starts on her father's side, her grandfather June, and then her grandmother Jean, because she's Britney Jean and she's named after her grandmother on her father's side. And she basically like tells how June was like really like controlling, and he drank a lot, and like Jean, she like had a baby, and the baby died, and he was only like three days old, and June basically puts her in like a mental facility where they give her lithium, which is kind of like foreshadowing. It gave me goosebumps because it's what happened to Britney, if you didn't know. And June is basically like her father, like how her father is like really controlling and drinks and stuff like that. And then she starts speaking like about her parents, and that her father drinks and stuff. And then her mother Lynn is always like screaming at her father. They're always arguing, but in the sense that like her father is like drunk and then he disappears for days at a time, and then he comes back and he's like drunk, but like it's like he doesn't say anything. It's just like they're like almost sleeping, and she's like screaming at him. I'm like halfway through chapter 6, and she basically is saying how when she was in 8th grade, her and her mother would go to Mississippi to drink cocktails, which I'm pretty sure that's illegal. How old are you in 8th grade? Like 12, 13? Okay, now she's like saying how she started smoking at 13. Now, that one, I mean, it shocks me but doesn't surprise me because I know people who started smoking at that age, but shocks me because, I mean, 13, like when I was 13, I only wanted to play with like my little pet shops and play with my Bratz dolls or draw or like watch anime. So it's really weird. And also, she says she started driving at 13, which is also very illegal. And she actually like had a car accident while she was driving at 13 with her mom. Like, girl. Okay, and now she's talking about how when she was 13, also, like she had a crush on this 18-year-old guy, and one time when she was sleeping at a friend's house, he was there and then he snuck into a room and then they made out. I also believe that's illegal. Okay, and now she's talking about how she started dating her friend's best friend when she was in ninth grade and he was on the last year of high school. So he was like 17 and she was, how old are you in ninth grade? Like 14. And you know, basically she lost her virginity with him, which for me, in my opinion, it's fucked up. Keep in mind that all of this happened when she like came back to her hometown to like live a normal life, because she was on the Mickey Mouse Club, but then, you know, it ended and she came back home because she was like she couldn't decide if she wanted to keep going or she wanted to have a normal life, but she ended up deciding to go back to Louisiana and have a normal life, and all this messed up stuff happens. Okay, so it just got really dark all of a sudden, so excuse like the poor quality. I finished chapter 10, and here she already released Baby One More Time, and oops, I did it again. And she's already dating Justin Timberlake. Something she talks about that you know, always bothered me was how everyone was so obsessed about her body and like her virginity or non-virginity or like her sex life basically. And bear in mind, she's like 17. She talks about how there were hosts asking like questions about her breasts, if she like had done like plastic surgery. I finished chapter 12. She talks about how Mr. Justin Timberlake cheated on her multiple times, and she admits that she cheated on him like once, and she told him, and he like they agreed to like move forward, and she gets pregnant, she wants to have the baby, and Mr. Justin Timberlake forces her to have an abortion, basically. Like, she literally says that it was not a tragedy for her, and if it was for her, she would have had the baby. But, you know, Mr. Justin Timberlake didn't want to have a baby, which, okay, sure, I respect, because, okay, they were very young, but, like, it's her body, so it's ultimately her decision, and her decision was basically, it was forced, okay? It was forced by him, and she tells how he did not take her to the hospital because no one could know that she was pregnant and was going to, you know, have an abortion. So they literally do it at home. She takes the pills and she like says that she went to the bathroom and was there like in pain, in agony for hours. She said it was the most painful thing she ever did in her life. And what does Mr. Justin Timberlake do? He thinks the best he can do is like sing a fucking song. I cannot stand this man, okay? Good morning, everyone. It's like 10 a.m. And yesterday I read a little bit, and I want to talk about it. I have it like marked down here. So I'm basically almost halfway through the book. The part I want to talk about, it's when she recording the music video for Outrageous, the remix by Dark Child, and Mr. Justin Timberlake decided it's a good idea to break up with her via text. And the text literally only says it's over. She was like devastated, depressed. She talks about how she was half dead in her hometown, and Justin Timberlake was just running happily around Hollywood, making press about her, how she cheated on him. And during his like press rampage, people were like asking, "Oh, did you have sex with Britney Spears?" And he would say yes, of course. And Britney says that she actually liked that, he said those things, which honestly I wasn't expecting, but I can see her point, because to her, him saying those stuff is like, yeah, she's a woman, like she's not a virgin, leave her alone. Like she's a woman, she could do whatever she wants. And I never, saw it, never saw that perspective. And I understand her perspective because, people back then had this perception that she had to be this like eternal virgin. And, she was, at this time, she was literally 20 years old. So why is it a big shock if she's a virgin or not? And then she talks about how when she was in that depressed, moment, she went back to Kentwood, and she describes like a teenage Jamie Spears as a total bitch, because, she would be rude to her mom. And she actually describes it in a way that's kind of funny. She talks that Jamie Spears' life was Ariana Grande's song 7 Rings, because it was, I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. Because everyone, was leeching off Britney's money. And so she basically, had everything she wanted. She was rude to her mom. Her mom was basically like a slave. And she would be like, oh, why did Britney have to buy us a house? She was an ungrateful bitch. And, we do not like Jamie Spears here. Jamie Spears and Justin Timberlake, we do not like them here on this channel. I have here on chapter 17, when she went on that infamous interview with Diane Sawyer, and she was really depressed at that time. She felt like really isolated because, of the breakup with Justin, and like her team and her dad literally, forced her to do this interview. And Diane Sawyer was only asking her, oh, what did you do to break, his heart? What did you do that caused him so much pain? And she talks about how that interview was like a breaking point for her mentally, and she felt like darkness taking care of her body. That's literally what she writes. And she says that she felt herself transform almost like a werewolf into a bad person, because that's how, people from the press and Justin Timberlake wanted people to see her as a bad person, as like a slut or a cheater. And she says that, honestly, I feel that moment in my life should be a moment of growth and not to share everything with the world. It would have been the best way to heal. Like, it's so sad. Like, she knew what was best for her, but everyone just kept, pushing her to do this like terrible stuff, that didn't make any sense. It was only tarnishing her reputation. She also talks about something that I find very interesting, because when she was partying with Paris Hilton, she got drunk, and like very drunk, and she got married in Las Vegas with like a childhood friend. I don't remember his name. She didn't, like, when she realized what she had done, she didn't see it as, like a disaster. And she literally, to her, she was just having fun. She didn't see it as anything like that serious. And like her family were making a disaster of this, and were like interrogating her, and were like, we have to cancel the marriage. She literally writes, any young person knows the feeling of wanting to rebel against their family, especially if it's a controlling family. Nowadays, I think I was having a very human reaction. They were subjecting me to an enormous pressure for a thing I thought was harmless, and that in some way only was my business. And she says this part I found really interesting. Then I realized something. It was very important for them that I was under their control and that I didn't have any strong connection with any other person. Why did any other person would be a threat, be such a huge threat? I spent my life telling interviewers that the thing I most wanted was time to myself. I'd started to dream about a true love to settle down, I had the feeling that I had been basically wasting my life. So what I gather from all this is that I I think she kind of rushed the marriage with Kevin Federline to like escape the control that her family had over her. And she actually says, I thought that Kevin will give me the stability that I always wanted and also the freedom. And she talks about how the Onyx hotel tour was a mistake because she felt so overworked. She was not okay mentally, but everyone, kept pushing her to literally overwork herself. And there is a part here where she says she prayed to God so that she would fall and break something, so that she had an excuse to not carry on with the Onyx Hotel tour, which is really heartbreaking. And she did break. Yeah, she made a new injury on her knee and had to undergo surgery. We are starting chapter 20, okay? Okay guys, so it's the next day and I finished it. I finished it yesterday. I spent the entire day reading, and I haven't finished a book this fast in ages. It literally took me 2 days, so I'm really proud of myself. And as you can see, I have a lot of tabs here. I probably won't, speak on all of them, but I do want to, touch on some of them. So on chapter 20, Britney is already married to Kevin Federline and she's pregnant with their second baby. And Kevin wanted to become a rapper or whatever, and would basically abandon Britney, her pregnant with a really small child too. And it was the first time she was married for real, and with a small family. And to herself, Britney, I wouldn't say she's naive, but she always tries to see the good in people. So when Kevin abandoned her to pursue his rapper career, here she literally says, I would have inner monologues to myself. He's my husband, I have to respect him and accept him in a deeper way than I would accept anyone I was only dating. He's the father of my kids. His attitude is different, but if it's changed once, it can change again. Um, People say he's going to leave me while my kids are too small, like he did to, his first baby mama. But no way, he's not going to do to me what he did to his other family. So, if you don't know, Kevin Federline, like literally left his like baby mama, who had like two small children of him, to like be with Britney. And Britney was just trying to convince herself that he wouldn't do the same thing. Okay, so now we have here when she shaved her head. So at this point, she was going through the divorce. Kevin, had total custody of the kids, and Britney literally just wanted to see her kids, like any mother would do. And she would like literally go to Kevin's house and basically beg for him to let her in to see the kids, and he would say no, like he wouldn't let her see the kids. And all of this happening, and the paparazzi, you would just be there, making her life more difficult than it already was. And she talks about her shaving her head was a way, to say to the world, like fuck you. She literally says, shaving my head was a way of saying to the world, fuck off. You want me to be pretty to you? Fuck off. You want me to be good to you? Fuck off. Want me to be your, dream girl? Fuck off. I had been a pretty girl for years. I would nicely smile while show hosts would look at my boobs, and American dads would say I was destroying their kids for using like a short top, and my own family would act like I was the devil. I was sick of it. At the end of the day, I didn't care. I only wanted one thing: to see my children. I was sick of thinking about the hours, the days, the weeks I was without them. So literally all she wanted was to see her kids. Like why did Kevin Federline think that, what was in his head to not let see her kids? Like, just to me, like, it makes no sense. I don't understand why, you would do something like that. And then here she talks about like her 2007 VMA like performance. And she didn't want to do it, but her team thought she had to go to show the world she was okay. And how it went. Honestly, I still think she did a good job. It's not the best she ever done, but I honestly think she still slayed. And here she talks, in chapter 28, she talks about, when she was with her kids on January 2008. She was with her kids, and Kevin went to get the kids, and she thought, I will probably never see my kids again. So she panicked and like locked herself in the bathroom with one of the kids, with Jaden. People called the cops, and they strapped her to like a hospital, like those hospital beds, and took her to the hospital. And this part really, so here we are now entering the conservatorship, and this part really was like really disturbing to me. It just felt like a plot for like a thriller like movie or book, and it's really like messed up and disturbing. So here she talks about when she was going out with that photographer, I don't remember his name, and they went to, I believe, Mexico. She gets a phone call from her mom saying, Britney, I have the feeling that something is going on. We heard the police was after you. And she's like, the police is after me, but why? I didn't do anything illegal. And then her mom is like, just come home, we want to talk to you. So she went. All of a sudden, there were helicopters surrounding my house. Is this for me? I asked my mom. Are you kidding me? They weren't kidding. All of a sudden, like a SWAT team barged into my house. What the hell did I do? I didn't do anything. And she says later on, I convinced myself that the only thing that's changed in the month that went by since the last time I had been taken to the hospital, my father had became friends with Lou Taylor. So if you don't know who Lou Taylor is, she basically was the mastermind behind the conservatorship. So she's basically, Satan in disguise. And then her father said, starting from now, I'm in charge. And I thought, this is too much for me. I couldn't see a way out. If I go through this, for sure they will see how good I am and give me my freedom back. And I started to do everything they wanted. And like she literally says it, they put parental controls on her iPhone like she was like a kid, literally. It's so messed up. And she says here, since I followed the rules, I could have my kids back. So basically, she went through the conservatorship just to see her kids, which is really sad. Oh, okay. So now this part was a part that really disturbed me. So we are in like 2018, and she, had that residency in Las Vegas, and then I don't know if you saw the video. But basically, she's there at the Hotel Park MGM in Las Vegas. There are like fans everywhere. And then the host is like, oh, and we are here to welcome the new queen of Las Vegas, like Britney Spears. And then like she comes out, he's there with some fans. I think she also gives like a few autographs and then literally just like gets in the car and leaves. She didn't, perform. She didn't anything. She was tired of this Las Vegas residency because, every show was basically the same and she was tired of it. She felt she didn't, she said she felt like a robot. She felt empty and, everything was the same. She was tired. She like begged to change a few things, to put new songs, but people didn't allow that. So she was just feeling like soulless, performing, and she was sick of it. She was tired. She also wanted to go on vacation with her kids, but they didn't let her, and so she refused to perform here. And then she says, I would soon find out that when I made it clear that I didn't want to perform in Las Vegas, my family would make me disappear. Like I literally had goosebumps. This is beyond disturbing. And she says here the show in Las Vegas hadn't been canceled yet. And she was like getting new dancers and whatever. And then they were, they were like studying like some like dance moves, and one of them showed them a dance move, and she said, oh, I don't want to do that, it seems too hard. And she says, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but all of a sudden my team and producers got inside a room and closed the door. I had the feeling I have done something very wrong, even though I didn't understand how refusing to do a dance move would be such a bad thing. I was 5 years older than when I started my first residency. My body had changed. What difference would it make to change like the choreography, And then, she the next day goes to therapy, and then her doctor says, we believe you have been doing really bad stuff behind our back, and your behavior during rehearsal is not good. Everyone thinks you are going through a bad time. And we are going to send you to an institution, and you are going to be hospitalized during Christmas holidays, and a doctor is going to do like a psychological evaluation. And then her father says that, the doctor told him that she failed the evaluation and now she has to go to like a mental facility and that there's something very wrong with her. But don't worry. We found a little rehab program in Beverly Hills and you only have to pay $6,000 per month. And then she says, what if I don't go? And then her father said, we are going to make you look dumb and believe me, you will not win. And she felt like it was some sort of blackmail and that she was being manipulated, and she was. And then she's on this mental facility. She couldn't see her kids, she couldn't take a shower in private, she couldn't close the door to her own room, she was watched while she was changing clothes, she had to go to sleep at 9 p.m. and they would watch her while she was just watching TV. And she says she had to spend several hours a day sitting on a chair on like therapy sessions, and while they were like seeing her like blood pressure. And then she was given lithium, and she says the lithium would make her feel like slow and lethargic. And then she says, I knew it was lithium that was given to my grandmother Jean, who killed herself. You see how I was talking about foreshadowing in the beginning of the video? Because it just seems like this family is so weird. How is it possible for a similar thing to happen to her grandmother, like literally the mother of her dad, and then her dad doing the same thing to her daughter? It's so messed up. It's just show how like messed up this family is. Oh, and also another disturbing part. She talks about how she called her mother to ask why everyone was acting like she was dangerous, and her mother just said, oh, I don't know. And then she texted her sister Jamie Lynn, and guess what she said? She said, stop fighting, you can't do anything about it, so just stop fighting. Here, during this time is when she finds out about the Free Britney movement through a nurse. Oh, and also another fucked up part that boiled my blood. She finally got out of the mental facility, and then her family went to her house like nothing happened. And then Jamie Lynn again has the audacity to try to exploit her. She literally suggested her to do a sister talk show. What the fuck is wrong with you? Your sister just got out a mental facility where she was drugged and held hostage. And when she gets out, you go to her like, oh my god, we should do a sister talk show. Get a fucking grip, girl. Honestly, get a fucking grip. She doesn't talk about the divorce with Sam. Basically ends with her, talking about the wedding with him and then the abortion she had of the baby. And she doesn't talk about the divorce. I believe that because the book was supposed to be longer and they had to, reduce it, and I believe the parts she couldn't talk about were maybe because of the wedding with him. I don't know, that's just speculation. But in the end, I love this book so much. I'll definitely read it again. It's so powerful and so beautiful, and I love how she's finally able to tell her story on her own terms. And I love how there are so many people supporting her, and she just came on top in the end. And honestly, she's such an amazing woman, such an amazing person, and she inspires me so much. And I recommend this to everyone, especially if you're a Britney fan or know about her story. This is a really tragic book. Like the conservatorship part is really messed up. It made me really anxious, I'm not going to lie. And I hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably a long video. I'll try to shorten it as much as I can. But I love Britney so much, so that's why it's a long video and I talk a lot. And I wanted to get into every important like point in our story. That's basically it, and I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Bye.